Ford government has unveiled the final designs for its redevelopment of Ontario Place. CP24's Beatrice Vaisman joins us live with more reaction. Beatrice.
Bakari, the Premier today sharing his vision, and we saw it on some renderings as well. The first time we've gotten to see those renderings since the redevelopment of Ontario Place was announced back in 2021. Let's get some reaction now to what she saw and heard. I want to bring in Ann Elisabeth Samson, the co-chair of Ontario Place for All. Thanks so much for making time for us. Walk me through, I know you were listening to the Premier's press conference. What did you hear? What do you make of what you heard?
Well, thanks so much for having me on. It seems that the biggest surprise of the Premier's press conference is actually that this new enormous parking garage that the province intends to build for the site right on the edge of the lake. Initially, when the province shared their vision for Ontario Place, they talked about building that parking garage underground so that it would not block the view of Ontario Place from Lakeshore. That has always been a very expensive endeavor. So the biggest news out of this news conference is their commitment to building this massive above ground parking garage right at the edge of the site. Otherwise, what I also saw were some renderings of what they call public realm space. The Premier was calling it park space, which has some new climbers and other features for families and children that are not on the site of the West Island, that are on a different area of the site than we typically talk about. So the renderings you're showing now on the screen, that's the West Island rendering. That building with its entrance on the shore and the bridge across is for the Therma Spa complex.
Ann Elisabeth, let's go back to the parking garage, because you're right, that is the biggest piece of news that we heard today. It's also expanded from 2,500 parking spaces to 3,500 parking spaces, and this giant structure with a giant sign that, of course, the Premier's job is to spin it. It's going to be great. People are going to take pictures with this sign. It's going to be an attraction like the Toronto sign down at Nathan Phillips Square. And the Premier was also asked, is this kind of a compromise? The idea with the city, they didn't love the initial plans for it. The mayor wanted it across the street, and they were kind of going back and forth. How do you think they got to this point with this giant parking structure in a separate building further away from the location they actually intended? And what do you think about it?
Well, it's hard to say. We've been trying to follow what's going on with the parking garage negotiations, because initially they were in discussions with the city to put the parking garage at Exhibition Place, but it was always going to be a hard sell because it actually was a little too far away from the entrance to the Therma Spa project. So it's interesting that they have just decided to bite the bullet and build this above ground kind of monstrosity. It's it's going to block views of this project from the lakeshore and from the city, and sort of cut it off from the rest of the city and the Exhibition Place. So it's been a little bit of a mystery, as with everything in this project. It's kind of shrouded in secrecy and kept from the public, and with no real meaningful consultation. So this project, if it's so great, then open it up, show us why you're doing things, engage the public. This government has continued to try to keep everything secret and just assure us it's going to be great. But at the same time, passing laws to avoid accountability for the project for now and into the future.
And by the way, the parking garage is going to cost taxpayers about $400 million. The Premier saying it's going to generate income as people pay for parking. I want to ask you also about the Therma Spa, because noticeably today we didn't see any renderings from the spa. What is it going to look like? What's the vision? Share it with members of the public. And we were told by Therma that those renderings and that vision is coming in the next few weeks. Are you disappointed that you didn't get to see it today, to at least have a better understanding of what's going to happen on the Therma grounds?
I mean, disappointed, yes. Am I surprised? No. I mean, this whole thing is done with, in secret, away from the public, and then with these unveilings. The only thing we know about the Therma project came from when they were engaged with the City of Toronto in their development application, with the passing of a special law to allow them to do whatever they want at Ontario Place, the government eliminated that process. So everything that Therma plans to do is all at this moment, a bit of a secret. We don't know what they plan to do. We only know what they showed the City of Toronto in 2023.
Yeah, and again, we're hearing those plans and those renderings set to come in the next few weeks. Ann Elisabeth Samson, co-chair of Ontario Place for All, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. Bakari, as for a timeline as to when people can actually visit this new Ontario Place, which, by the way, will also include the new Ontario Science Centre as well. The Premier and his government not committing to a hard and fast timeline, but saying 2029 is when the Premier hopes to get things rolling. He says he's going to push it as hard as he can, but still to be determined. And same with the Science Centre as well. Asked repeatedly what happens to the current site of the Science Centre. Are we going to see temporary Science Centre structures as was promised by Jan 1, 2026. The infrastructure minister still saying we're kind of working it out to see what's going to actually happen, but no concrete answer on the Science Centre, at least until it's built here officially at the Ontario Place. Bakari.
With the very latest CP24's Beatrice Vaisman. Thank you.